Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome to our spring classes. Today we will learn about one of the concept. How usually projects looks like and what are the modules. The people having less experience and they might confused what are these so many modules available and how we integrate with each other. So those things we will learn today. So if you see any Java project architecture, how it will be usually UI module will be there and the service module and the security module and database module. In high level, in real world case, so if you say take the banking application, in front end, once you enter the username password for your bank login details, what it will do, first it will go to the service. In the service, through from UI, they'll call as a REST API by taking the username and password. Then the security module will come into picture before calling to the API. Then that API, REST API will call the database. You'll get the results back and it will show to the UI. That is the basic functionality of one of the requirement. So if you see here UI module, it can be web pages. So UI module you can use either React, Angular or JSP. Service modules, business logic will be there in the service modules. What could be the business logic? Like your account number should not greater than these characters and how your credit card validation and what could be the other validation. There are different validations we can implement in the service module and validate it account balance. Those details, whatever the business logic is there, we can incorporate inside the service module. And the security modules, we can use authentication and security, where your Spring Security, WAUth or JWT or role-based access. So if you want to access, but you are an admin role, you can access all the URLs. If you are a user role, you will have only limited access. Those things we can configure in using security module. So database module, like to write the SQL queries, you can use database module. Like you can use JP or Hypernet, JDBC connections. If you want to connect to Oracle, MySQL, different database, you can use any one of these and you can implement the same. So this is the high level architecture of project. If you see here, this is the banking application. If you want to, what are the different modules will be there? User browser. If you want to connect with the AWS, virtual private cloud will be there. And in virtual private cloud, from banking web UI through JWT, Java web token, JSON web token, through it will connect to the APIs, then it will connect to the microservices, JDBC queries. For messaging, we will use Kafka, notifications, AWS is simple email service, then CI/CD pipelines. Once you commit the code, how we will build and deploy by using CI/CD pipelines. Either it will be Jenkins or Docker or Jules. If you want to do the load testing, whether you can use JMeter. So this how the different modules and different infrastructures will be there at wider level. One more, this is the cloud architecture. Previously we mentioned as a functional thing. Now this is the banking application for cloud architecture. If you see here, user browser, we have a root S3, that is VPC, virtual private cloud. This is the Spring application. Spring application will have the account service, authentication service, transaction service, database, Redis, Postgres, caches, and Amazon MSK. These are the different modules will be there. Yeah, coming to here, high level. If you I already mentioned previously at high level. So in depth, little bit of going in depth. What are the different modules? One is UI module, one is logging, one is messaging, cloud and DevOps, security module, email service, load testing, caching, file storage, scheduling, database modules. So these many modules will be there in any of the project, enterprise project. So these many modules will be there. Each will be independent and you can integrate in your application. Most of the projects, if you verify which of the project you are working, if you see these modules will be there. Like logging mega is there, right? If you want to do log, so what? So SL4J or logback you will use, or messaging, either it is a RabbitMQ, Kafka, REST, SOAP services, this is microservices, right? So UI module, whether it will be React, Angular, Backbone, UI module will be the scheduling, any jobs if you want to run, we can use the schedule jobs. Either it's a Quad, Control M, Spring Scheduler, this will be scheduling. Database modules, yes, same way. If you want to write SQL queries, we can use JBA, Hibernate, Oracle, MySQL. You can connect the database module. Caching is important. Cache management, either it's a Redis cache or EH cache. Every time same request is coming, you no need to go to database. Already you cached the data. You can get the details from the cache. So for that, caching mechanism will be there. These details you can if you see in your projects, you can be mentioned in the application properties or YAML file, or at the rate annotations will be used in any one of your classes where it has been implemented. So email services, like in if a requirement you have to send email after certain business logic, you can use email service where SMTP server, Java mail, Spring email. Then security module, Spring security, OAuth or JWT role based, cloud and DevOps, cloud infrastructure. Either you can use AWS, Azure or GCP, Google Cloud Platform. CI/CD pipelines, Docker or Kubernetes. CI/CD means Jenkins. Once you build bucket, you have to commit the code. Then load testing, performance testing, JMeter or Gatling. Then file storages. If you have any file storage, S3 or FTP cloud storage. These are the high level architecture of Java project, or in most of the projects consist these modules, maybe one or two less or more, but at high level these modules will be there. Different projects will have different technology has been used, but at the end of the day you have to, if you are a full stack developer, if you want to work on, you want to know everything, you should know all these concepts. Then only your work will be easy and you can understand at a broader level. Suppose you are working only on REST API and backend services. If you don't know these and all, then you will get confused how modules get connected, what are those things. But as a developer, and if you know the broader idea, you have to know all these things, as well as how interface systems are get connected, like downstream systems and upstream systems. So those details also you should know. So these about the Java project architecture. If you see the code where I have implemented a very simple backend application, where if you see here, most of the project structures will be like this. If you see here, main is the banking application in Spring Boot, where you'll have the main method. There in the config, we'll mention the security config, like what authorization request you need. Then the one controller will be your accounts, and what is your get method, what is your post mapping. Then model will be your entity class, where your database details. Then repository, how we will get save, update, delete, CRUD operations and other queries. You will use account repository, where service will be your business logic, which I already mentioned. It's a class where if you want to transfer, you'll get the details from get account, and then set balance. So find by ID is there, right? A repo. So you'll get from the database. So You can verify this find by ID. You will get it as from the CRUD repository class where all the methods will be there. If you provides the details, it will bring and it will get the response. The same way, if you see the if you already seen the backend, right? Now this is the React, how it will be. If you see account.js, what it will be, it will have the, you can call that HTTP localhost API accounts, which is configured in the controller. If you see in the controller, user user can see this UI functionality where you can enter the username and password. Based on that, account details will change. If you see, if you want to do that money transfer from which account to which account and amount, so then it will call the, in account controller, it will call the transfer. If you see this transfer will be there inside account account.js, right? If you see here, control F, control V, so transfer will be there. What will happen? Transfer successful. If you see here, API is there, right? So this API we configured HTTP localhost 8080 API accounts. This can be dynamically through properties file we can mention. So, but at high level, this is a simple example where user can call and how you can connect database. If you see here application YAML, we would have mentioned PostgreSQL here. So this about the simple module which will have service, database, UI, the logging and other things I didn't mention here, but in your projects it will be available. Please check. If you have any doubt, just message in my YouTube channel. I'll get back to you. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great day.